subscribe our channel, stay till the end of the stories for more twist and turn. Comment us about what kind of stories you like to hear. Am I, 34 female, wrong to question my husband's 37 male friendship has with an 18-year-old girl and ask that they stop being friends? I'm not really sure where to begin with this throwaway for obvious reasons because my husband is on Reddit, though he may find this anyways. My husband's family is actually a group of people whose parents all went to college together and remained best of friends as they all grew up, got married and had kids. My husband is one of the oldest kids in this second generation and the other kids are really more like his cousins, if that makes sense. I think in total there are about 35 people that make up this group and they all vacation together, have holidays together, etc. Like I said, they are far more like a family. So of the second generation, my husband is the oldest kid and most of the other ones are in their 30s. The youngest one is a girl I'll call Ashley, who is now 18. I have to say that Ashley is a very, very sweet girl and she has babysat our kids more times than I can count, and if it weren't for the current issue, I would think she was one of the coolest girls I've ever met. This also may get me down votes, but Ashley is stunningly beautiful and I would be lying if I said I wasn't jealous of this fact. I was never as good looking as she is now, but as much as I do like her, she is a reminder of who I was 16 years and 30 pounds ago. I am also jealous that she seems so easygoing and carefree while I'm stressed out all the time. My husband has known Ashley since she was just a few hours old and for the most part, he acts like a protective older brother to her. As I said, I've always really liked Ashley. I've known her since she was about 10, so in my own way I've watched her grow up, but that awful, ugly jealousy has been present since she started to mature. Things really came to a head this past weekend when my husband got a call at about 10 p.m. from Ashley saying that she had been at a party in our town. She actually lives about 45 minutes away, and had a flat tire and she could not get the nuts loose. She wanted to know if my husband could bring his DeWalt impact wrench over to help her. He said yes, I had no problems with this. However, he did not come home that night. We openly share Find My Friends on iPhone and I could see that he went to where she had said she got the flat, but then I could see that he also drove to what I assume is her apartment, 45 minutes away. I must have tried to call and text him 100 times to figure out what was going on. I heard nothing from him until about 6 a.m. when he called me and said, "Hey babe, so sorry, I followed Ashley home to make sure she made it safe and Johnny, her brother, was there and we just sat around and talked before I even realized what time it was." I was so mad I hung up on him. When he got home, I'd had 45 minutes to stew over it and I was livid. He told me that he didn't want to fight and this was the exact reason that we used to Find My Friends. I knew exactly where he was. I said, well, I couldn't. What was going on in the apartment? Edit, I need to be 100% honest here. What I actually said was more like, well, I couldn't see you fucking Ashley in the apartment. He basically told me to grow up and we didn't talk all day Sunday. Then he had to leave for the week, so for the first time in our marriage, he went out of town while we were in a fight. But I just keep stewing over what the hell happened that night. Why didn't he call me? If he really was just talking all night, why didn't he just call and say that's where he would be? I think when he gets home I want to ask him to stop being friends with Ashley. To me he's lost that right. Am I was off base here? Is it possible to get in touch with her brother, Ronnie? Ask if his sister got home safe and that you heard your husband and him talked for a good long while. If your husband is telling the truth, the brother could be the alibi you need to check. Of all the people in that group I don't like, it's him. I wouldn't trust his answer even if he were telling me the truth. Ashley probably wouldn't lie to me, but I don't even know how to ask her. I wouldn't trust his answer even if he were telling me the truth. You've got reason to call Ashley because she's babysat for you before. You could call because you want to see if she's free on a certain date. You can ask her a few relevant questions and see if her version matches. If going this way you can have a slip or the tongue and say "and how's Ronnie? Haven't seen him in a while, did you catch up with him recently?" kind of thing. I feel like I'm losing my 26 male best friend for 21 years, 25 male, to his GF, F24. Hi guys. Some context. John and I have been best friends since kindergarten. We grew up together and have been inseparable since age 4. As we grew older I've had my share of girlfriends while he was always living the bachelor life. That was until about 2 years ago he met his new girlfriend. She's a genuinely nice person and I'm really happy for him. But she's super clingy and we haven't had a beer as bros in ages. She lives about 40 miles away and he spends a lot of time there. Whenever he finishes his shift at work, he's a bartender, he always has like 7 missed calls from her. Whenever I call him and he answers his phone I always hear her in the background yelling "Hi up. I'm here too. How are you?" There have been a couple of occasions since where we planned to have a drink and something always came up last minute. I don't think he's entirely happy either. He seems to be walking on eggshells whenever he's around her and he just seems more distant lately. I don't mean to be a dick, but she's a big drama at times. Last week I found out my wife, 27 female, was pregnant with our first child and John was the first guy I called. We agreed to have a beer for old time's sake and celebrate on Tuesday. I drove to our old hometown, which is a 40-minute drive for me, sat down at the bar, ordered a beer, and texted him about when he'd get here. After not hearing back in an hour I decided to call him. Picks up the phone chuckling, "Hey dude, I was just about to reply to your text. Yeah, I totally forgot man, so I'm gonna have to take a rain check. I'm out in town 60 miles away taking the lady out for dinner. We should defo catch up later." I've known this guy for 20 years, he usually never forgets these things. Anyhow, I ordered a couple of beers and had a good time anyway. However, when I got home I felt a bit hurt. We'd always been there for each other for the big things. I was so excited to tell him all about the pregnancy etc. I drove 40 minutes to get stood up. Again. Dear Reddit, am I overreacting? Should I confront him, her? Have you talked to him about this? You can say, "Hey bud, I'm so happy for you that you found someone awesome, but I really miss our quality time. I would appreciate it if we can hang out together sometime." Communication is key. Maybe he's so blinded by love, he's not even realizing what he is doing. I texted him after I got home last night. "Hey dude, I was really looking forward to having that beer with you. I don't get to become a dad that often and was looking forward to sharing the moment with my best friend, kind of disappointed you no showed. Miss ya bud." He hasn't replied. Yeah, too bad some people you know for years suddenly act like assholes when they find a partner. Until the relationship strands, then they're suddenly sorry they ruined all their friendships. Give it a little bit more time. But if it keeps happening, take your loss and go find yourself a new friend. It sucks though and I feel sorry for you. I've had the same thing happen with one of my best friends, who just abandoned our friend group. I really hope it turns out well for you in the end and that you do find a way to keep in touch with your friend. However, while it's easy to blame everything on the clingy girlfriend, as I too did for a while, your friend is making these decisions for himself too. He is choosing to skip over drinks with you for her and other things you mentioned, and while she may be an influence, that is still his call. Still, you should definitely have a talk with him about that, and without her. Don't try to blame the girlfriend, just say what kind of effect his actions have on your friendship and that you don't want to lose that. There might be a chance he doesn't even realize the detrimental effect this has on your friendship and your perception of him. I don't understand all these people justifying his behavior. Standing someone up like that is shitty. Even in the beginning me and my fiancé always had our own friends and did our own things. I would try and talk to him about it in a nice way saying how hurt you were. And yes, he may be happy but also his GF could be very controlling. Maybe she is so clingy she threatens harm if he tries to leave? I would def try and talk to him if this is not normal behavior for him. Thanks for listening so far. If story have an update, we will post here. Like, subscribe to our channel for upcoming stories.